The practice of smoking opium was introduced in the 1850s by a Chinese laborer who came to the U.S. to work on railroads. The opium-based drug morphine was created in 1803 and widely used during the American Civil War as an injectable pain reliever, leading to the first wave of morphine addiction. Coca-Cola was named in 1885 for its two medical ingredients, an extract of cocoa leaves and cola nuts. Just how much cocaine was in the original formula was hard to determine, but they could not deny that there was some cocaine used in the early days. So yes, the rumors are true. At one time there was cocaine in Coca-Cola. In 1970s, cocaine regained its popularity as a recreational drug and was glamorized in the US by popular media. In 1928, a nationwide radio broadcast entitled "The Struggles of Mankind Against Its Deadliest Foe" has announced that there were more than 1 million lepers among our people. Yet drug addiction is far more incurable than leprosy, far more tragic to its victims. It's spreading like wildfire. Drug addiction was now more transmittable and less curable than leprosy. The United States' longest unwindable war is the war on drugs. The social impact company ATTN produced a series of short videos called The Real History of Illegal Drugs, which explains why, when, and how some drugs such as marijuana, MDMA, cocaine, opium, and LSD has become illegal. And what did this mean to the Romania? Absolutely nothing. You see, we didn't care who the president, vice president, or mayor was. It didn't matter if they raised the gas 5 cents per gallon, or if they cut healthcare, or raised luxury tax. The only reason why we would read the paper was to look for cars or houses for rent. You see, we're a people without a flag or a country. First-generation immigrants. We were a people who were a hidden society and a mystery among all races and religions. An unaffected culture and gated community where the world's diseases and problems could not touch us. Of course, that was until someone left the back gate open.
Just coming in, Michael Jackson had lethal levels of powerful painkiller Demerol and heroin substitute in his body. That's the news coming in. According to the Sun newspaper, MJ did die of an overdose. These are what preliminary toxicology reports. It says MJ's body had lethal levels of painkillers Demerol and methadone, which eventually killed him.
The singer died, according to the coroner, from a deadly dose of the anesthetic propofol, combined with lorazepam, an anti-anxiety medication.
The court documents show Jackson was on a cocktail of drugs to help him sleep. One of them, a drug Jackson called his milk, the anesthetic propofol.
There's new revelations about Prince's death. An autopsy has now confirmed that he died from an overdose of a popular painkiller. ABC's Eva Pilgrim has the story.
This morning, the weeks of speculation are over. The Midwest Medical Examiner's Office determining Prince died from an accidental prescription drug overdose, self-administered fentanyl.
All right, guys, so we now know the exact cause of Prince's death, and it is a fentanyl toxicity. He died from an overdose of an opioid. Prince had an addiction to Percocet, which is also an opioid. The shocking thing about this report is that they are saying he died from a fentanyl overdose.
Whitney Houston died over the weekend, and she was found in a bathtub.
In Whitney's room, the coroner found bottles of prescription pills. One of the prescriptions was Xanax.
There were about 6 prescription bottles. This may have been a combination of prescription drugs and alcohol.
We turn now to Bobby Christina, the daughter of Whitney Houston, and Bobby Brown passed away last night. The 22-year-old's death coming 6 months after she was found unresponsive in a bathtub. The medical examiner does plan to conduct an autopsy as questions still surround her death, and ABC's Chris Connolly has more.
Just months before Heath Ledger's blockbuster hit The Dark Knight was released,
it's simple. Kill the Batman.
The actor's death was ruled an accidental drug overdose. And now, the AP has learned federal prosecutors will not pursue a criminal case into how Ledger obtained the powerful painkillers which contributed to his death earlier this year. Authorities believe the painkillers oxycodone and hydrocodone found in Ledger's system were obtained with phony prescriptions or other illegal means.
Just a few weeks before his shocking death, Hollywood actor Philip Seymour Hoffman brought his new film, A Most Wanted Man, to the Sundance Film Festival. The father of three was found dead in his Manhattan apartment on Sunday following an apparent drug overdose.
I don't know what they're like. This case is an accidental overdose with no other criminal elements present.
More than 6 weeks after the death of Anna Nicole Smith, authorities are closing the books on her cause of death.
The cause of death is combined drug toxicity as a result of chloral hydrate and therapeutic concentration of other medication.
Chloral hydrate is a sedative used to treat insomnia and alcohol withdrawal. Rarely prescribed, it's known to be fatal if combined with other drugs, including the sedative lorazepam, which Smith was taking.
Another generation has lost another bright young comedian.
Tonight in Chicago, there are tears at the death of Chris Farley.
Farley's brother found the 33-year-old comic dead on the floor.
But on December 18, 1997, Chris's body was found on the floor of his Chicago apartment. He died alone, aged 33.
Pandemonium has broken out here on Elvis Presley Boulevard in Memphis. Thousands of fans from all over the country are converging on Graceland, trying to get in to view the body of the 42-year-old king of rock and roll. The world is shocked by Elvis Presley's sudden death after attempts to save his life failed. The apparent cause, according to his personal physician, Dr. George Nicopolis, is a heart attack. The singer's father, Vernon Presley, has requested that an autopsy be performed.
Presley died at his home on August 16, 1977, and the New York Daily News reports that in the new book, Stanley says Presley overdosed on purpose. If addiction could happen to Elvis, it can happen to anyone. Before this book, the cause of Presley's death was shrouded in rumors. A toxicology report after his death found 14 drugs in his system, but his family covered up his cause of death in an attempt to preserve his legacy. Official reports say no drugs were found at Graceland, Presley's Memphis home where his body was found. But according to Stanley, there were pills and syringes around his body, and Stanley started hiding that evidence in his pockets before police got to the home.
We're going to turn now to a major loss in the music world tonight. The gifted singer Amy Winehouse found dead in her London home. She was just 27. And so many people blogging and tweeting throughout the day today about an almost eerie coincidence. So many young music stars lost, and so many lost when they too were 27. ABC's Simon McGregor Wood is in London.
And tonight she adds her name to a tragic list of rock legends, all dead at 27. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and like so many, she shared their destructive addiction to drink and drugs.
What you just watched was a high-profile, glamorized version of drug addiction and overdose. A Hollywood cover-up to protect the family and friends of these A-lister stars from hurt and embarrassment. If you want to see the real effects of what drug addiction is doing to our family, friends, and the world, just look out your window.
med ett par år på Sodecha.
När man då stavar vid